see him before I leave, so I hope he doesn't like get pissed. I should go visit him and Grandma Ash, but then she's gonna be like, "Who's you?" And I'm like, "I was his coworker, right? I came to visit Senior. He didn't train me, but it would have been nice if he did. Even though I'm not taking over his job, I was just, I am happy to fill in. I'm not gonna be your replacement." Anyways, so he was in the hospital. He got better. He's at home. He's like healing and resting and whatever. So he's down the road. And they end up moving me from where I was sitting to his desk, right? And his desk is near the door. So how the where, like, it's hard to explain, but I'm like, there's no place for me to pick up my phone if I have to take a call, right? Because in the office, everybody's listening and they're always like micromanaging and bitching about everything. So I'm like, I can't touch my phone, right? And then the one time I do touch my phone, they're like, "Oh, she's always on her phone." I was like, "Bitch, like, I fucking hate this thing." Anyways, so for me to pick up my phone, I would have to, where my desk was before, I have to walk past like everybody working there, my supervisor, Michelle and them, front desk lady, and then head outside to pick up the phone, right? So by the time I do that, the phone's gonna ring out, right? So now that I'm by Grandpa's spot now, right? I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother because I'm even further away than I was before. So the phone for sure is not. I'm not gonna be able to like pick up the phone. So where he's sitting, how the warehouse is situated is that there's two doors, and in the back the other guys are working because all the parts that I order, they're basically packing them and sending them off and filling those guys' trucks, like the tech's trucks, to go repair the customer units, right? One of the guys, he got attacked by a dog. I was like, oh my good god. Anyhow, I got to read a lot. Like, reading their stories is nice. Justin's on the road now, which is nice because he was like, we saw him Friday and he was just bawling in the company truck. So like now him, Max, Kane, all of them are out on the road. So every time I see like their events pop up, like when they need things, I go and I prioritize them first because I know they ain't assholes, right? Like if I see the same like the certain texts I see and I'm like, I know they're gonna do some dumb shit. I'm like, fuck their orders. I'm gonna deal with these guys first, right? Because these are my boys. Anyhow, so the way the warehouse is situated, right? Like the back ends there, so they have to open up the door and you can be outside, right? So there's that door and then the door right behind me. So if I open that door, I'm basically connected to the outside, right? And I can sense everything there. But those guys always get weirded out because I can't leave that door open because A, they make a lot of noise, so it's disruptive to the people in the office, and B, they can't work either. It's distracting for them, right? They're like, she just opened the portal, like that's what it looks like, right? When you open the door, they're like, we can't walk through this door, but it's open now, right? Like it's that kind of fucking mentality. So it's weird for them and it's distracting for us, right? That's why I don't open that door. But when the spirits come to see me, it's always when like I can feel it there, right? But anyhow, so now I'm sitting at his desk, and one day I just burst, right, because of all the other shit going on, and I'm like bawling. Supervisor asked me what's wrong. He can't get through to me, so he's like, I'm gonna call the boss and we're gonna have a nice little meeting, right? And I was like, oh fuck, I just caused a scene. Now I'm like really fucked over because I know, like, I'm thinking about leaving and I'm like, I need these couple more paychecks. I'm like, I can't afford to fuck this up now. So then we head upstairs and we have a meeting, and he's like, I heard you were bawling. He's like, tell me what the fuck happened. Because I sent him an email. I was like, this, and this happened. Fucking fix it, right? You're the manager. Fix it, right? Like, I can't rely on my supervisor. Like, you're my, like, who else am I supposed to go to if I can't go to you, right? Because I know you helped me with a lot of shit. Help me here. So then we have this meeting, and he's like, okay, I'll talk to the team and figure it out. And I'm like, I don't even feel like this is a team. Everybody's so fucking bitchy. Like, I can't. I'm like, they're not my boss. Why are they telling me what to do, right? I'm glad I don't work there anymore because I'm like, now I don't have to do things that I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like if they fuck something up, I don't have to fix it anymore. So I have this whole meeting with him because I sent him an email beforehand, like I don't know, maybe a couple weeks beforehand, telling him about the marriage shit. And I was like, because I told him I'm thinking about leaving, right? Because I let him know early. Then he's like, okay. Um, when I let him know that though, so like at the beginning of this year, it's 2025 now, right? Yeah, I think it was like March. Could be February or March. Bryce start working there with us now, right? So like boss is really strategic, right? Going back to this card because he's doing things in a way that it'll benefit. All right, so Trev diagnoses units, I order parts, and Bry's here now to help ship them out. Right, so he's smart. So like if something's fucked up, we can go to each other, right? Because we're not for like the other people at work, they're like we're weird siblings. I like when I see Mary in the morning because when we walk past the front desk, she's always like, "Hello, siblings." We're like the dream team, right? I told you we're seasonal siblings, so hearing that from her always makes me happy. But anyhow, um, yeah. So boss is smart now because he's strategically putting us like if something's fucked, we can like because he knows we'll communicate with each other if the others don't because they're fucking stupid, right? So Bryce starts working there. Then I come to find out my friend lost her job at the uni, right? Because when I used to go to the uni down here, like somehow she got that balling ass job where she's making like 30 something dollars an hour, right? Um, and she can drive and everything good, right? Everything was going her way, right? Until she got laid off. I don't remember when, like a couple months ago. So I email him and I'm like, I'm thinking about leaving. And in my head, I'm like, I know how hard it is to find someone to like, because it took me like because they tell me I'm smart, right? Because it took me 6 months to um understand the bullshit that they're doing on a daily basis. So I'm like, if someone else were to come in, it's gonna take them longer than that, especially if like they can't understand one shit. Cause I came in there like fresh, right? They need somebody that's already in the company to come take over, right? That understands how it works. Cause boss was reluctant at the start, but he's like, "You're a uni student. I have faith in you." And I was like, "Oh fuck." I remember like the first day I started training, he gave me a notebook and I looked at him and I'm like, what the fuck do I need this for? And then I'm like, oh fuck, you know how many notes I have? Because I remember I have that yellow folder and it's full of notes. And the only reason I do that is because that motherfucker downstairs says I don't do anything, right? They keep telling me I'm lazy and I have record of everything, right? Like when all the notes I took when I was in, because everybody looked at me like I was weird. They're like, why are you taking such like thick note? Like I'm keeping record of everything just so like if they come back to fucking tell me anything, I'm like, there's the fucking proof. Fuck off, right? I did the same thing with work too. I have the folder and I remember showing dad and he's like, why the heck are you have all the company stuff with you? And I'm like, so you can see that I'm not there to play. I'm actually doing what I have to do and I hate when you don't tell me that I'm not fucking doing the work. So um I email boss and I tell him I'm thinking about leaving because this is coming up again and I have to leave. So because I know it's hard to like find someone to fill my place, I'm like, my friend just lost her job. Can you help her out? And he said that can be arranged. So then she goes to have an interview with my supervisor and everything. She'll be working with Bryce. So Bryce on the other team, right? Like it's hard to explain. We're all on the same team, but Trev's different from me and Bry's on my side, but he's different from, like it's hard to explain. um I always worried about abandoning my brothers, right? I'm like, if I up and leave, like I know they're gonna take out all this shit on them, right? And I'm like, I don't want them to hate me for it, right? Same thing with Tonesy. I'm like, I want to kill myself for so long, and I'm like, if I did that, I'm like, they'll always be comparing him to me, um, or whatever shit, right? Like I didn't want him to go through that, right? He knows how I am, so he's not gonna believe any of the fucking lies that come out their mouth. But I'm like, now I have no choice. I'm gonna leave, right? Because I'm like, it's too toxic. So, um, I email boss and I tell him this marriage shit's coming. Like he's like, cause and from his point of view, he just proposed. Remember I told you about the boat nonsense, and he just proposed to this lady, and then they're getting married, and he's in Edmonton and all that fun stuff. Now I'll come back to that. So he's like all excited to like get married, right? And I'm telling him how much of a nightmare it is for me. And then he's like, okay, I understand. Because I'm sending this to him through email because he's not in the office anymore, right? And he knows how I work because he was there for at least almost a year when I was there. So he watched me work for a while. So he knows like I'm not fucking playing around, right? He what really pissed me off is that he called me old. He's like, for a young person, you act really old, and I'm like, well, if you knew lifespan things and like, right, if like that's too much to explain to you right now, okay? Like, it just pissed me off that he had to point that out, because I'm like, yeah, my soul's older than yours, but anyhow, um, yeah, I email him. He like our points of view on marriage is different, right? So I'm like, I'm telling him, I'm like, it's a fucking nightmare for me, and I'm like, if I leave, I promise I won't fuck you over. Just have my friend come and deal with it, right? So then she joins now, right? Um, so both my brothers and her are there. Aaron gets mad because he's like, "You're gonna abandon us for your friend, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." um, so she's been taking like now I take lunch with her. Like I've been taking lunch with her for a couple days, right? And she takes up all my time, right? So I'm like I can't like normally when I had my break I'm like okay like I could go read or I could go take a nap or I could record or I could just like I have time for reflection for me and like I had that taken away from me now, right? Because like now she's gonna want to catch up and talk and all the other stuff, right? And vent. Um, This is the one that wants to go to the rave with me, right? This is the fun one. um, so boss wanted to put us to sit together, but I'm like, if you do that, these motherfuckers around us are gonna talk, right? Like the other people in the office are gonna give me shit for this, right? And they're gonna, right? So, um, she doesn't want to work there because she's like, work's gonna be fucking awful if you're not there, right? Because she knows how idiotic these people are. So she's already dreading it. She told boss, she's like, I'm only coming in 4 days. I'm not coming in that 50. I'm looking for a different job. And he's like, okay, whatever, as long as there's another person there. So she doesn't want my job, right? She's doing something else. And that week, boss came for my birthday. I had planned to tell him I'm leaving that Friday, right? Because you're supposed to give 2 weeks notice. And I'm like, because I'm panicking. I'm like, I have to do this now. Like I don't want to leave for me it's like I just sit there and click away and type and jam out all day. And I'm like, am I really gonna give this up just because I'm dealing with idiots, right? And I'm like, I gotta trust the spirits, God, everything that there's something better there for me, right? This is just a temporary thing. I can't get too comfortable here, right? Because in my head, like in the back of my head, screaming like comfortable in the chaos, and I'm like, ideally, I would never be in this position. So I'm like, I'm getting comfortable. I'm getting too comfortable. I gotta go, right? So, um, week before he shows up, because he just surprises. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming that week," and I'm like, "I'm taking my birthday off," and the next day, and he's like, "I'm hurt. Why are you taking off that day?" And I'm like, "It's my birthday, boss." Like, and then he's like, "Oh, understandable. Okay, take the day off." And then I told him, "Thanks for gifting me with your presents." Even though I'm not gonna be there. His flight was delayed too, so he couldn't come. And then I'm like, boss, I got really messed up suggestions to celebrate my birthday, right? Because I didn't celebrate it properly last year, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I took off that day because I wanted to record, right? You guys saw why. Um. So then he's like, go to the beach, and I'm like, that's a terrible suggestion too, boss, because he didn't know I already went a couple of like when I had back in May I went, right? So I'm like that did that done like any other suggestions, right? But I'm like okay, whatever. Let's not bother the boss any further. Because everyone else told me go drink, go have dinner. I'm like I can't do those things. right? I'm dealing with idiots. You know, the main reason why I don't drink is because if I actually drank and had a good time and got wasted, there's no one there to take care of me. So I'm like, that's the main reason I don't drink. Someone would take advantage of me, not take care of me. You know what I mean? That's a very fucking scary situation to be in. Um, there's certain behaviors I don't engage in because it makes me feel sick thinking about it, right? So, anyhow, even though I can't drink the drinks, making them would be nice. You know, I don't mind trying that. You know, I like trying everything. I do everything, right? Um. Oh yeah, I told him because last meeting he was here. I was like, do a raffle, right? Because he loves giving away prizes and stuff. He likes being the fun boss, right? He's not really like he's boss material, but not boss material at the same time. Like when it comes to the work, like if you need, um, like I don't know how to explain. Like if I tell him I'm like, boss, can you fix the software so I don't have to open so many fucking tabs? He won't do it. But I'm like, boss, um, my back's hurting. I need a new chair. He'll get me a new chair. You know what I mean? So, oh, before he comes, I think that was the week before, I get to meet the director, right? Like, it'll be, so I told you I'm at bottom level, right? Because I ain't want, I'm already making a poverty wage. I don't want them to pile more work on me for the same amount of money. If I'm doing more work, you better be paying me what I'm worth, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm at the dead bottom. No one's gonna want, like, no one, like, when you're at the top, you have to use people, right? And that's what I don't like. So I'm like, I'm at the bottom. Whoever gets fucked over, I can help them out or whatever, right? Because I see everything going on. So I'm at the dead bottom. Then there's my supervisor. Then my boss. Then my boss's boss. Right? There's a few of them there. No, no, no. Hold on. There's me. Then supervisor. Then boss. Then lady boss. That's like Trev hates her, but I'm like she's whatever. Then there's her bosses, right? They're in between there. So I don't really deal with her. So like I always look at it as boss and then boss's boss, right? So like she's doesn't exist for me. Right? And he's got a couple of them here. And then after him is like the director, right? He's at the top. He's like the head of the company. He came and he was exactly like I thought he would be, right? So after we had that meeting, and I'm like, I'm wasting my life here, right? I know anybody would tell me that, but I'm like, I really feel like I'm like, I shouldn't be here. Like, I'm wasting time. So I get back to my desk, you know, all the other shit happens, and my phone starts ringing, and then I was like, oh my fucking god. And then because I'm sitting where grandpa sits now, right? So I'm like, my phone's fucking ringing. I can't check my phone because the director suddenly shows up, right? He comes in to take a quick check of all over the place because he, like, we send him emails on things that aren't like the things that need improvement, right? And he's gonna come double check to make sure nobody's lying and doing dumb shit, right? So one of the things somebody complained about were chairs, right? And I'm like, because they said my chair was lopsided. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, I already plan on leaving. I'm like, that's the next person problem. Right? They had to get me to accommodate for me. They had to get me a really small chair, right? Because everything it looked really wrong. Anyhow, director comes over while my phone's fucking ringing. And I'm like, I swear to God, sir, I'm not on my phone. And he's like, let me take a look at your chair. Because at this point, I still don't have headphones back in yet, right? And I'm like, I'm having a terrible time. I just fucking fought with everybody else. You showed up. Like, I'm dealing with all kinds of shit. Like, he comes over and he's like, let me see your chair. He's like, you definitely need a new chair. And I was like, okay. Speaking of which, I love that fucking chair. And now I'm mad because I didn't get to break it in. Right? Because I don't weigh much, right? So if I sit on it, I'm like, the other sat in their chair and it's broken in. I sit on my chair and I'm like, this is gonna take a while. Oh, it's so good now because the old chair I had, I couldn't move around, right? Like when I'm on my period and things, I don't like moving, right? So I have to constantly get up and see what everybody wants because I don't like using that stupid phone, right? And plus the phone was fucking broken. Like if I gotta call my supervisor in his phone number, there's a two, right? And I'm like the two button on the phone doesn't fucking work. So when I push it, I'm like I could misdial and I don't know who the fuck I'm calling. So when he replaced my chair and I got to use it, I'm like, yay, I can like, cause my supervisor that day, cause he's looking at me, he's like, why are you so fucking down? Stop, right? Like he gathered us around because I told you a few of us still work after 4, after everybody leaves at 4, cause he's supposed to leave at 4, but he didn't. He brings out our new chairs and he starts replacing the chairs. And then he told me to come over and test the chair, and I'm like, I can't. I'm not the type of person to test this chair, right? You need someone with some weight, right? Then he starts spinning me around in the chair, dragging me in the chair, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this will do." And then I was like, "Oh, now I see why you guys went for these types of chairs because now when I'm sitting in it, because I have the most muscle in my legs, right? I'm just like zipping around in my chair. Like if someone calls for me, like where my desk is, and if someone calls for me over here, I just slide over on my chair, right? Instead of doing all the other dumb shit. So that was fun to break in. Um, yeah, so I'm telling boss the week after that I'm like, I had fun meeting director and all that other fun stuff, and now you're coming all of a sudden. And I told him, I'm like, last time you were here, you promised to do a raffle, and you didn't do a raffle, right? Because they like giving away stuff to the people working there, right? And they never like when we play because remember I told you Yogi called me lucky because for some reason we keep winning things, right? So it pisses them off, right? Boss comes back that week. On the Friday, we hold the raffle, right? And I'm having a good time. So, out of spite, because I fought with all these people, one of them, they didn't give, normally they give everybody a piece of paper, you write your name, you fold it, you put it in the box, boss shakes it up, and then we pull them out, right? But this time, to out of spite, nobody gave me a piece of paper. I didn't write my name. I didn't fold the paper. I didn't do any of that fun stuff. So one person cut the paper, the other person wrote my name, and the other person folded it and then put it in the box, right? And boss shakes up the box, right? Yogi's across from me, right? And I'm talking to my friend because I'm like, yeah, it's unlikely I'm gonna win, right, or whatever. And if I do win, I'm like, I'll just pass it off to whoever wants whatever they're like giving away, right? Because I can't take it with me when I leave. So unless he's like auctioning off like luggage, I'm like, boss, none of this is of use to me, you know? Uh so everybody's name's in the box. He shakes it. Then we draw names, and the first name he draws out is mine. And Yogi's drawing it off to the floor, and he looked at me. He's like, "Damn, this girl really lucky." And I'm like, I'm glad I live up to my name, right? Because that's what he ended up naming the plant, right? And I'm like, it's not luck. It's because it's mine, right? I keep telling them that. I'm like, my name comes up when it's like I earn that, right? It's mine. So boss looked. I don't remember how he looked because I didn't really look at him. I was too busy talking to my friend, and I'm like, like this is just he's like it was fun because he did it for my birthday week, right? Like I had such a hard time before while he was gone, and then he came and he's like, okay, let's do something fun, right? um so I'm like, oh my god, I'm the first one to win on my birthday raffle, right? So we picked up, so the prize that we ended up picking was a chair and a matching um cooler bag with it, right? And boss is like, perfect. Brian and Yogi go head to the beach. Take that with you and head to the beach, right? And I was like, oh my fucking god, boss again with this. And then Bry chimed in because I had to consult with the council, right? I'm like, Bry, whoever else. I'm like, what do you guys want? What do you don't want? I'll take whatever, right? Mom ended up teething the chair from us, but anyhow, um, And yeah, Bri then asked the boss, he's like, if we are allowed to go to the beach, can we go with pay? And then we all start laughing because the boss is like, no, but you can have a donut. Oh, yeah, yeah. That morning, too, we had a meeting and he brought a whole bunch of donuts. And then he told me that was breakfast. And I was like, wow, boss, you're just like me. This is what I eat all day. He bought orange juice this time. I fucking hate the apple juice. I was like, thank God. I have a drink and some nourishment and I'll be okay. Um, I hate that though because every time he brings donuts, I stuff my face. Then there's like sweet stuff all over. Like my hands are all sticky, right? And I'm like, I gotta go fucking wash my hands. Then he starts the meeting before I can get back, and I'm like walking in, and you can fucking hear everything, right? Because it's dead silent. I'm like, fuck, you can hear my footsteps. You can hear the creaking of the door. You hear everything. It's fucking. Oh my god, it's so like anxiety inducing. And I'm like, fuck, you couldn't wait 5 more minutes for me to come back to my seat and then start the meeting. Like, is it that urgent? Yeah, so yeah, we started laughing and he said, you guys get extra donuts if you want. And I'm like, what the hell? So then um he pulls out the next name, right? And then I tell him, I'm like, boss, what the hell? The winner's supposed to pick the next one. I'm supposed to put my hand in there and pull out the next one, right? And then Bryce said he was watching him and he said, I think he pulled my name, Lisa. These people are gonna fucking hate us, right? And I'm like, they can't say anything because I didn't write my name, right? And like, boss pulled out our names. Oh my god. So then boss threw the name back in, so we don't know for sure who did it. And then he's like, okay, you draw then. Then I picked it out. And all the rest of the people that won were people that weren't there. And everybody in the office was so pissed. They're like, oh, it's always the kids. Or like, oh, like what in the hell? I swear to God, we didn't rig it. There was no way. It was hilarious. I told you energy wise, it's how it works, right? You can feel it. I can feel it when I go to draw in, right? Um, yeah, that's why I like I don't like having my name in there, but I like having to draw for other people because I can feel it. I can feel whose name comes out of the box. Anyhow, so we had a fun time. Me and Brian went to the car. It was a nice day. He's like, "Oh, good. I don't have to work for at least 10 minutes if we go out and like chuck this in the car, right?" I end up going with my friend to the store afterwards, so they headed home with that shit. So, um, I don't give a fuck if they argue with me later, right? They already calling me a whore and useless, and like I don't like I hate that like right like I don't even want to deal with it. I was like, okay, whatever. Why the fuck would I come back here and be miserable? I'm gonna go off and have a good time. So anyhow, that was hilarious. We had a good time. Then boss scheduled a meeting with me because later that day I was gonna tell him like I'm quitting. Like this is my 2 weeks notice. Here's my resignation. Like um I wasn't nervous because everybody knew it was coming. Nobody expected me to stay. Like in my head when I started, I was like, I could easily do this for 2 years and I'd be okay, right? Because I'm like, my loan would be paid off and I'd have enough to like do anything else, right? Because I'm like, I did the concert things already. Like, right? Like, there's nothing more. So now I'm pissed because now I'm only a year and a half in, right? If I had worked for the rest of the year, I would have been set, perfect, done. But I don't want to risk being sold off now, right? So, um, we have a long ass meeting in my supervisor's office because he's on vacation. He gets back on Monday and he's gonna see I'm not there. He's gonna be really mad because when he told me before he left on vacation because boss hadn't come back yet. He said, if you see the boss, run. And I'm like, why would I run from him? He's the only one helping me. Because he knew if I go see him, oh my god, he knows if I go see him, I'm gonna leave, right? And I know he didn't want me to leave. And I'm like, to spare you the sentiment, I'm just gonna, you know, up and go. So he comes back on Monday. He's gonna see I'm not there. He's gonna be pissed. um, I didn't really spend much time with him, right? So I'm like, it shouldn't be a big deal. Like, even when I had my interview with him when I started, I'm like, everything was so fucking weird. Yeah, so I'm in boss's office and we're talking, right? And I'm seeing the parallels because he's helping me, right? He's the only person that didn't tell me, like, I was pissed, right? Because when I was at my grandmother's, my aunt said, she's like, how do what? She said, picture how your mom's gonna feel, right? You're gonna make her sad. And I was like, fuck her. Like, she never once gave a shit about me, right? Like, did she ever care whether I was sad or not? I've been fucking suicidal my whole fucking life. And what kind of care is this? So, and the conversation always goes like that. It's like, oh, but think about your mom, or think about this person, or do that, and it always fucking pisses me off. I'm like, why do I have to put other people before myself? What makes them more important than me? Right? Them people so fucking selfish. They never put me first. So why do I have to put them first? You know what I mean? So I'm having this discussion with boss, and he told me, if you're looking for peace, go for it, do what you want. Because he said, I trust you, and I know you can. You know what you want, what you're gonna do, and things. I'm like I really want to bawl in that moment because this is the first time someone trusted me to make my own decisions and do what I wanted, right? Without having someone to tell me like, how are you gonna do that? Oh, what you're doing is stupid, or you're wasting your time. All that shit, just it was gone. Um, so boss, now I can feel his energy getting worried now. He's like, because I don't have everything worked out yet, right? Because I told you it'll be really hard at the start. So he's like, if you need anything, like, I'm here. And I'm like, okay. But I'm like, you have your problems too, right? Because like he's telling me about like they haven't gotten married yet, and I'm like, the way he's explaining it, I'm like, oh my god, maybe she's got frostbite. Because he's like, I think she's got cold feet, and in my head I'm like, nah, bro, I think she got frostbite. um, I didn't tell him that obviously, but I'm like, he has it hard enough as it is already, because he was telling me, I'm like, because I see the parallels between our lives, right? And like the only difference is that he was a single male, um, living alone, working alone, but he had like connections, right? Like he always had a friend, right? And he was moving all over the province, right? Like he told me he started off in Winnipeg, then he ended up in, I don't know, Calgary, then he came to here, like in Ontario, and now he's back in Edmonton. Like it's like he's been all over the place, so he's well traveled. Um, and in my position, like if I were to do that, right, like live on my own, like for him because he's a male, it's okay, but for me, because I'm a female now, and I'm by myself now, it's gonna become a problem now. Um, Marriage thing is a problem now too, right? Um, Food thing is a problem. Like he told me when he lived alone, he said he had to survive